Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome back to another episode of Gplay69 Reacts. Wee! Oops, I'm shaking the camera. Sorry. Lasagna. Good lasagna. Costco. Yeah, buy them at Costco. You get like 10 of these little things for cheap. Anyways, how y'all doing? We're gonna just watch some videos and chill and react for a bit. Yep, getting audio right on. Here we go.
If you found out there was a monster called Predator X, what would you think of? Someone
Predator.
shrouded in mystery?
There's my porn name. I just got my porn name. Predator XXX.
aka Pliosaurus funki, is a species of extinct marine reptile from the Plesiosaurs order that lived on our planet.
Hung like a fucking dinosaur.
At about 40 feet long, Predator X was one of the largest predators of its time. It had an enormous skull, 6.5 feet long. Can you imagine this head? And it wasn't just about the size. The predator had a powerful body.
You know, big head, big, you know.
At least that's what some researchers believe.
You know what they say.
Although there's not much data on Predator X. Most likely it bit so hard that it could crush rocks and would even crush a passenger car if it found it in the ancient ocean that allowed the predator.
Oh, is that like related to those little ichthyosaurs? The ones that look like dolphins?
Predator X was capable of taking down.
It's kind of like almost the way whales, like how you have everything, you know, when well, like way up dolphins just like a little whale, but in a lot of ways closely related, aren't they? And so was it kind of like those little plesiosaurs, or what were they called? The little ichthyosaurs? Were they relatives of these guys? The way like dolphins are to whales? Or something? I don't know shit about that.
But in ancient times, the ocean was way scarier. Its waters were dominated by big marine reptiles, which fought each other.
I have
and hunted unsuspecting
major phobia of deep water. Like I don't know, man. There's just something you just feel absolutely useless and helpless in the water, and just inky blackness and shit. I don't know. We're not made for the water.
Back then, the ocean was the realm of reptiles. Fortunately for us humans, there are very few marine reptiles in today's
Although there's a theory that that's why we have no body hair, because we were sea monkeys basically. We evolved from sea monkeys.
Extinct millions of years ago, and you don't have to fear that your boat will be bitten in half by a huge swimming reptile. The only disturbing thing is that we still don't know what other creatures lurk in the depths.
But yeah, exactly. So some other disturbingly large thing will bite your boat.
By the way, sea reptiles weren't the only scared and died. There's only one good thing about this situation. The scientists got a great fossil. Yes, a gruesome death of an ancient animal always makes a paleontologist happy. Actually, fish often overestimate themselves, even today. All because fish are, shall we say, not very bright creatures.
Dumb as shit.
That died just because their lunch was too big for them to handle. One such story happened in 2018. During a morning walk in New South Wales, Australia, a fisherman found a giant flathead in shallow water.
But like officially, like
that was too big.
Eat it. Oh, these things scare me.
Alone and talk about
I got
birds. The Phorusrhacos
true story. I got knocked out by an emu once.
For a long time, the creature was thought to be from 24 to 35 inches tall. Until a bird skull was found
at a zoo that I was working at when I was in my teens, there was an indoor area where they kept the stuff in the winter. Things like emus that don't like the cold too much. And there were these sort of like little low, there were pens, and the emu's head stick way over the top of them, but I guess they wouldn't climb out or couldn't climb out. Anyways, there was a line, a red line in front of them that you were not supposed to step beyond because you would then be within range of the emus and stuff, and I guess they were known to attack people. So me and some other people, the people I'm working with, are walking along, and I'm right next to the red line, and someone joking, they didn't do it on purpose, but jokingly, you know, we're all jostling around, young kids bumped into me, and I stepped 1 foot over the line, and that's the last thing I remember, except from when I woke up with one of the head guys working there dragging me out from behind the line laughing. And like, they're all just laughing, because that fucking thing, boof, knocked me in the head, knocked me out cold. Right on top, I guess they said it came down right on top of my head, and I just collapsed like a fat sack of rocks. Could explain some things. I got no memory. Wonder why. Anyways, but I do remember the impact. I remember getting hit. Like, actually, I should say, because I do remember the concussion. I remember the like, bam, and that was it. I was out. And then just woke up on the floor getting dragged away. They're all like, "That's why you don't go over the line." I was like, "Okay." But I really thought of it. That fucking, they got lucky. That thing probably, I could kill me, broke my neck, I didn't, fortunately, I just had a big lump on my head, but he didn't crack my head open. I was like, Jesus.
Got curious about that, and it looks like a recent study helped them get closer to figuring it out. How do you envision a missing link between a velociraptor and a seagull? A flying dinosaur stealing other people's sandwiches. Ichthyornis dispar is one of these missing links. It lived in Kansas back when it was an inland sea. That is between 100 and 66 million years ago.
That's so creepy. Isn't that weird?
Like a seabird, like a gull or a tern. But this creature had
that's where they got the raptor eye from in Jurassic Park. You know how that raptor had those eyes that were really like weird, like really piercing, and really looked at you in the movies? That looks just like those, eh?
The upper part of the beak was in motion while the rest of the skull remained still. But what happened then? How did the birds lose
breath?
Their teeth? Well, it looks like they just got smarter. Space for them. And if you can't chew, you don't need teeth.
Interesting.
Another
Weird.
researcher offers a different perspective on bird teeth. Birds may have abandoned them to speed up egg hatching. Compared to the incubation period of several months for dinosaur eggs, modern birds hatch in just a few days. Well, some take a few weeks at most.
Oh, interesting.
There's no need to wait for the embryo to develop teeth, a process that can take 60% of the incubation time.
That's really interesting. I didn't know that you did your teeth. I gotta say, they're so hard, and
hatching increases the chances of survival. So it's either
interesting.
Teeth or making
it's a lot of dense, hard material. It's not like everything else in your body is like liquid. I mean, it mostly just breaks down in water.
Don't have teeth, though baby turtles have a very long incubation period.
Really interesting.
But back to the creatures that are now extinct.
I'm being attacked here.
You've probably heard stories about bloodthirsty piranhas ready to tear apart any living creature that falls into the water.
Bloodthirsty thing, tear apart anything he gets hands on. Cats are little murderers.
Years ago, there was a mega piranha on our planet. It grew to
mega piranha.
Weighed up to 22 pounds. That is, it was 4 times as big as modern piranhas.
That's scary.
That's not all that matters.
That's actually scary. No way.
The bite force of this creature was 4 times greater than that of the largest modern piranha. Judging by the tests, megapiranha's teeth were strong enough to bite through the thick outer layer of bovine femur, turtle shell, and even the armor of certain catfish species. This indicates that
crazy.
Megapiranha could, in theory, eat animals with a hard shell, as well as some mammals. Apparently, they've got the shape of their teeth to thank for that.
It's sort of it's not just a urban legend where like the cow walks into the swamp and he comes out the other side like bone. That's a real thing because what happens is the piranhas, it floods where they live, and then when it all dries up, they get trapped in these little pools, and they eat all the food, and then it's just a bunch of piranhas in this tiny little pool, and so God forbid, they've been starving to death. So you know what I mean? That actually is a real thing.
Shows that modern black piranha can produce a bite force of 320 newtons. That is, it bites harder than any bone or cartilaginous fish ever recorded to date. Relative to its size, of course, a piranha's bite force is 30 times its weight. This bite is stronger than that of the American alligator.
Really? I didn't know that about piranhas.
The alligator would shrink to the
Interesting.
size of a piranha. This means that when provoked, this little fish can easily bite through steel bars and damage Kevlar fishing nets when caught in them.
Shit.
There is, however, other data.
Really? That's awesome. I have a new respect for piranhas.
Bite in the waters near Mayor Island, New Zealand, and it was delivered by a device attached to the end of a long rod lowered into the water. At first, the bites were relatively weak, but quickly grew in strength as the predator got excited. Eventually, it was recorded that the shark was able to produce an impressive bite force of around 13,000 newtons. This is far more than other species, including the fearsome great white sharks. Their bite force is only 10,000 newtons. The saltwater crocodile beats all competitors, though. It bites with a force of 17,000 newtons.
That shit, I mean, that would just take your leg. You know what I mean? That's where, like, it's not like it would just slice your leg. Right? It would just be so much power. It'd be like a big piece of sharp machinery, just and just crush right through your leg, slice it and crush it out. Like, and it's all ripping and pulling and tearing. God, no. Pithecus. Geegantopithecus? I thought it was just Pithecus.
Geegantopithecus is pictured as a massive gorilla-like ape with thick fur and long arms. Based on the size of its jaws, we can estimate the volume of its brain. It must have been considerably larger than that of a gorilla. This doesn't necessarily
That's right.
mean that Gigantopithecus was smarter than modern gorillas, but still,
Shut up.
size
Yes, it
matters.
does.
Some anthropologists believe
Yes,
that
it
the
does.
giant stone tools found in the same layers as the fossils of Gigantopithecus may prove that this species used tools like modern humans. This suggests that Gigantopithecus possessed a certain degree of intelligence and manual dexterity, which cannot be said of other primates of the time. All in all, it seems like everything points to the fact that Gigantopithecus could have turned into a human, or rather, being similar to humans. They're not our blood relatives after all.
Oh man, and it makes you with the
Yeti
Yeti thing, man, because that looks like exactly like a fucking Yeti.
Gigantopithecus hadn't gone extinct, it might have been competing with our own species for resources and leaves as food sources. Due to their large size, primates were unable to adapt to the new type of food, which led to their extinction. But our ancestors found a way.
Weird.
If Gigantopithecus had been smaller,
That's crazy, man. It's amazing how something like bigger isn't always
modern
better.
times.
I bet you smarter isn't even always better. We probably just haven't run into that situation yet, but I bet you get out there far enough, there's a point where smarter isn't even better.
There's an interesting theory that says these primates were so large
Weird.
they had to leave some legacy behind.
Looks
Human and a gorilla at
just
the
like
same
it.
time. Doesn't it sound like a Bigfoot? Somebody might have seen a
Excuse me.
skeleton of Gigantopithecus, used his imagination, and now fans of all things supernatural are chasing Bigfoot all over the world.
Interesting.
And they're
Well, literally, and we could be finding like these footprints. It's not. Well, I mean, no, but I mean, if they were real, I mean, those footprints there could be old. That we're finding. People think they're new or that they're freshish or whatever, but they could just be really, some of these Bigfoot footprints that people have found could just be really old. That's what I had a flood in the basement here, so kind of over that way. I had a flood, so I had to move everything this way. So that's all my laundry that normally I have off camera. It's really dope.
Then walked with very wide strides. Maybe he also jumped up to make the footprints deeper. The result was footprints that were remarkably similar. One of the most famous
these are fun.
This film has been analyzed and discussed for decades, and some people are seriously claiming it proves the existence of Bigfoot.
It's like me. You put me in a fucking monkey suit.
First, when walking, the creature keeps its knees
I
bent
walk.
rather than holding them straight as humans do. It's typical of all other primates. Second, believers note the rippling motion of the skin and fur that indicate movement, like living flesh. I don't know.
What rippling? What rippling motion of the what? Rippling what?
The same goes for
It's because it's a flappy rubber suit with some hair on it.
The 1967 Patterson-Gimlin film is supposedly one of the most famous proofs of the existence of the elusive creature. This film has been analyzed and discussed for decades, and some people are seriously claiming it proves the existence of Bigfoot. They even come up with some arguments.
I love it. Sure it is.
Keeps its knees bent rather than holding them straight as humans do. It's typical of all other primates.
Have you ever seen a guy with bad knees walk?
Believers note the rippling motion of the skin and fur that indicate movement, like living flesh. I don't know how you can in that video.
I know.
Experts are sure that even
That's what I was thinking. I don't know about that.
Achieving some degree of
what's fucking this a Bigfoot? What's that one? Host eagle.
And this is the Haast's eagle.
Haast's eagle. Sorry.
It also went extinct. This bird was native to New Zealand, an ecosystem in pre-human times, almost free of mammals. There were more than 200 species of birds that filled the food chain on their own. Instead of cows or antelopes, there was a family of flightless birds known as moa. And instead of apex predators such as tigers, New Zealand had the Haast's eagle. Biologists estimate that Haast's eagles weighed up to 33 pounds, about 50.
So okay, so there I saw this thing about this island where I think it was like a pirate ship crashed there or something, and they ended up leaving, but they left behind rats, right? And the rats ended up killing and destroying everything on the island and eating everything until there was nothing but rats. And then they came back, researchers came back. It's 100 years later, and researchers rediscover the island, and they go checking it out, and everything, the rats have filled all the roles. There's like predator rats, there's leaf-eating rats, there's ground-dwelling rats, there's tree-dwelling rats. This is really weird.
As time went by, there were more and more humans, and they already presented serious competition to Haast's eagles. By 1400 AD, human hunting was so intense that it caused the moa population to dwindle. The Haas eagles began to starve, well, and went extinct.
Ah, that's too bad. That's so crazy that it'd be scary to think of a freaking eagle.
Be afraid of them? But let me
Because they
remind
attack us,
you,
they're huge.
Haas eagles hunted prey that weighed up to 500 pounds.
Yeah, no kidding.
Compared to
Holy
that,
shit.
a human is like a light snack. There's further evidence that Haas eagles could be dangerous to humans.
No kidding.
Maori who attacking adult mountain goats and lifting one into the air in its claws. Then after soaring up, it would release the goat and let it drop to the rocks below. Not surprisingly, such a blow was fatal for the goat, and it left it with no chance of survival. And the eagle got a pile of meat for dinner, ready to be consumed.
That's so cool.
Unusual behavioral strategy for golden eagles. Usually birds of prey hunt baby goats. They're small and inexperienced, which means they're easier to snatch. Meanwhile, adult mountain goats weigh 5 times more than golden eagles, so the birds have to hunt in pairs. But the result is definitely worth all the effort.
But they actually picked that fucking thing up, and it weighs 5 times the size of the weight of the eagle. But that fucking eagle's strong enough with that fly, they can pick that fucker up and fly away with them. That's terrifying. Holy crap, that's scary.
But our ancestors,
oh, thank you.
They had it way harder. And I'm going to give you one more example. Up to 9 feet long is the largest bony fish in the history of the late Devonian.
So crazy to think that, like, somewhere in history, some version of a human being has been eaten by every version of a creature you think. Like, poor bastards.
Imagine a huge predatory fish, which looks like a modern alligator, but with a shorter face. Always competed with humans, even before humans became humans.
Yeah, it'd be weird. I know there's it's talking about a cat that was like exclusively hunting hominids or whatever, like people type, monkey people, and they said its mouth was even designed to be able to like perfectly crush our skulls or something. Like it was like that's scary to think of an animal that's so focused on you for food that you're its main source of food. That's pretty terrifying. All right, everybody. Well, that was a good time today. I had fun. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I always say it's way more fun when we do this stuff together. We have a really good little community growing. Make sure you check us out on the Twitch. Check us out on Twitter. Check us out on TikTok. We got a really nice little Discord channel going. Really friendly bunch in there. We're all over the place. Make sure you drop a sub, drop a like, drop a follow. And, I appreciate you guys hanging with me. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think of the new reaction videos and everything. And, yeah, I'll see you guys again soon. Peace.